Hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity tea in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and with me I have my lovely co-host, I Chill, and my favorite Taurus. Hey, y'all.
What's up, Auntie? What's up,
Praise the
listener?
Lord.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord, Saints and Mary and Joseph. Amen.
All of them. Especially on this Wednesday, July 2nd. So we're now in the month of July. Good Lord, does 2025 have somewhere to be? Good Lord,
It must
but yeah,
going by, honey.
clearly. Oh my goodness. Well, y'all, today is the day. They have reached a verdict in the Diddy trial. All that time, all the talking that we have been doing about the trial has finally come to a head.
Hello.
So they asses a little bit. So I don't know. But definitely shout out to CNN. Ooh,
Well,
hold up now.
we heard about half of what you said. Uh, all
Oh,
this,
really?
all this time, all this time, and this stop, Will, this silence. So,
Wait, so y'all didn't hear any of the intro or anything?
well, we heard up until all this time, and then yeah. If you don't stop it, I'm gonna kick you.
I'm sorry, I just had to refresh again. So let me make sure because y'all just actually ended up saying that. So you're saying that y'all didn't hear any of my intro? Well, after I said hey to y'all.
After all this time, the Diddy trial, and then bloop.
Well, hell, just in case, because I know the listeners are probably listening to this again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Auntie Derek's Daytime Tea, where we discuss the latest celebrity in the news. I'm your host, Auntie Derek, and I have two lovely co-hosts with me, I Chill and Will. Hey, booze.
Hey again, y'all.
And today is Wednesday, July 2nd. Yes, we are recording. We had a question in the chat asking, are we recording? So, and what I was saying, because I think that I understand that the audio went out, so nobody was able to hear when I was talking. But after all of that talking that we have been doing for of Diddy's trial, it has finally come to an head. We finally got the verdict. So we're going to talk about that verdict. And let me just get this a shout out to CNN for keeping us updated. I would say shout out to people as well, but y'all been showing y'all asses a few times, so I don't know if y'all get a shout out. But definitely shout out to CNN for keeping us updated. Oh, I'm sorry. And the first thing I see, baby oil sprayed into the crowd outside the court. Girl, girl,
Don't be
here we
so
go.
pissed, spraying baby all on my clothes. What the hell?
Here we go, Lord. Oh my Lord. So let me just
Mm.
go on to and a lot of this stuff is just like, in fact, I think what I should do this instead of reading all this is just go to the catch up section because that gives like the summary of everything because it's a lot of shit even after the trial. Okay. So it says the jury has reached a verdict in 4 of 5 counts in Combs's federal criminal trial. Here's what you should know. Oh, so no, that's from yesterday. Okay, so no, maybe I shouldn't use the catch up section. Maybe I need to go to the because that's talking about what they were discussing yesterday. We want to talk about the actual verdict. And I'm actually not surprised. You know, I was pretty much listening to what Judge Mathis, and I think Judge Mathis was the one who predicted the outcome the best.
Right.
Let me see. Let me see. Okay, so just then, Combs found guilty of prostitution charges, but not guilty of the most serious counts. So Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty by a federal jury on charges of transportation to engage in prostitution, but was acquitted of the most serious charges in a case that featured salacious allegations that he coerced women into sexual encounters with other men, and sometimes referred to them as freak-offs. Combs, who was 55, was charged with 5 counts, 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, and 2 counts each of sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. He was found not guilty on racketeering conspiracy and sex trafficking. He faces a sentence of up to 10 years. So remember, and Judge Mathis did say like he's gonna get some time, but it's not gonna be what we want basically. But he's definitely he did. It was confirmed, and the prosecution proved really well that he most certainly did buy prostitutes, buy sex workers. I hate calling them prostitutes, buy sex workers, and then transporting them across state lines, which is most certainly illegal. So what's the next update? The judge is telling the jurors that you can speak about the case if you want to after the fact. It's totally up to you. I think that's self-explanatory. He thanked them for their tremendous sacrifice. What else? This is interesting. So defense attorney says Combs should be released today. So Mark Agnifilo, oh, I said his name right, yay!
You
Mark
did.
Agnifilo says that Sean Diddy Combs should be released on appropriate conditions in light of the fact that Combs has been acquitted on racketeering and sex trafficking. He says Combs will go back to his house in Miami and abide by conditions set by the court. Combs does not have access to his plane, and his entire family is here. Agnifilo said, and any 3 of them, and any 5 of them can be signed onto a bond. Agnifilo wants him released today. The judge asked, "Is your proposal that he leave this courtroom and walk outside?" Agnifilo said, "It is." Said prosecution intends to seek incarceration. So Maureen Comey said the government opposes the motion. Well, of course they do. She said that the trial showed evidence of extensive abuse and prolific drug use that the defense did not contest. Sean Diddy Combs continued to commit a litany of crimes after he knew he was under investigation, she said. Comey argued that Combs does not respect the law and would likely commit new crimes if released.
No respect for the law. Oh, you there?
Ju-
Don't get quiet.
I'm sorry, you said scroll all the way down. What?
He said that no before you read that first part.
Oh, okay. And let's see. Judge says he'll make a decision on Combs' possible release after lawyers submit letters. Judge Sobramian asked the defense attorneys and prosecutors to submit letters on their positions about the possibility of releasing Sean Diddy Combs. The letters are due by 1 p.m. today, and the judge will make a decision afterwards. Well, we already know the prosecution is not going to want his ass out. So let's see. Next update. Mr. Combs has been given his life by this jury. Defense attorney says to judge. Girl, bye. In discussing a motion to release Sean Diddy Combs on custody on Wednesday, defense attorney Mark Agnifilo told Judge Arun Subramanian that Sean Diddy Combs was looking at potentially spending the rest of his life in prison, but he was acquitted of those charges. Mr. Combs has been given his life by this jury, he said. Agnifilo said Combs would be nothing short of a fool if he violated any conditions set by the court if he was released. He treasures, I assure you, the opportunity that he has been given, and he will not run afoul of anything this court imposes on him, he said. Just still lying. Lying, honey. Let's see. After the verdict, Combs faced courtroom gallery and clapped. I don't give a shit about that. Ain't girl. Cassie Ventura's lawyer. This case proved that change is long overdue. So Cassie Ventura paved the way for a jury to find Sean Diddy Combs guilty on some of the counts against him. Her lawyer Doug Wigder said in a statement. This entire criminal process started when our client Cassie Ventura had the courage to file her civil complaint in November of 2023. I know that's right, Gigi girl. You better talk about it. Although the jury did not find jury to find him guilty of transportation, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice. Victor said Ventura exemplary exemplary courage throughout this trial and brought attention to the realities of powerful men in our orbit and the misconduct that has persisted for decades without repercussion. This case proved that change is long overdue, and we will continue to fight on behalf of survivors, he said. I'm glad he said that, and he's right. He's right. I mean, because really, the only reason he was able to get off was because like how the laws were written, and the defense pretty much, and y'all saw it. Like we was reading about it in real time. The defense took these what these girls said, like which is exactly what that was. Because if they know what the hell would have happened. But anyway, let's see what's the next update. When will it end? Producer of Survivor R. Kelly questions lessons of Combs' verdict. Oh, hey, Dream Hampton. I mean, yeah, she's right. What's the next update? How Combs reacted when the verdict was read. Oh, and they got so dramatic. I'm sorry, that is so his damn face down in the chair. That is so dramatic. Oh, and I'm sorry. I see. Oh wow, I see the chat saying the audio keeps going out for me. I am so sorry, y'all. I truly am. Let's see. Happening now. Ventura's lawyer speak to CNN. Well, we just read his statement. Combs has won for all practical purposes with this verdict, CNN legal analyst says. We'll actually read that analysis later because they have it available for us. Let's see. NYPD presence grows outside courthouse after Combs' verdict, I'm sure. Sex crimes deeply scar victims. Yes, they do, says a U.S. attorney, says after verdict. What else? Sean Combs stands before this court as a convicted felon of 2 crimes. Cassie's lawyer tells Ventura. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if y'all saw like the discourse that was online about the trial, well, about the verdict, and a lot of people kept saying, "Oh, he was found not." Well, excuse me, a lot of men, because they asses don't like to read. Oh, he was found not guilty. He was found not. I'm like, okay, girl, clearly you didn't read the whole verdict, but whatever. Ventura's lawyer rejects calling her a winner after Combs' verdict, citing years of abuse. Let's see. Combs' sentence could be in the realm of time served. That's what Chill was saying. He most certainly could get time served because he's been in there already since what September of last year. It is possible that Sean Diddy Combs, who has been held in federal custody since he was arrested in September, could walk free today, according to Eli Honig, senior CNN legal analyst. Combs' defense attorney, Mark Agnifilo, told the judge the following this morning's verdict, where Combs was found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. He should be released on appropriate conditions in light of the fact that he has been acquitted on racketeering and sex trafficking. Don't be surprised if at some point this afternoon we see Sean Combs walking out of those doors right there, Honig said. If this was just some run-of-the-mill unknown New Yorker who had only been convicted of what we call the Mann Act of non-forcible interstate prostitution, he could walk today, because Sean Combs has been behind bars for nearly a year. The sentence that the judge may calculate, Honig said, is probably going to be something in the realm of time served. Honig added that with the most serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy are off the table, it wouldn't be all that surprising if Combs walked out of the courthouse in a few hours. The judge is expected to make a decision on bail today. And then the baby oil spray into the crowd outside. I have to read this. Some people gathered outside the courthouse after Sean Diddy Combs' verdict were seen spraying baby oil into the crowd. Remnants from the oil could be seen on the courthouse pavement. Combs allegedly used baby oil during the freak-offs or drug-fueled sexual performances was brought up frequently during his trial. Several of Combs' assistants testified that they stocked hotel rooms with baby oil before the freak-offs, and hotel records entered into evidence detailed the damages to rooms following Combs' stays and mentioned baby oil stains in the carpet. At one point, a defense attorney asked Cassie Ventura to confirm the baby oil used during freak-offs was never laced with any drugs. Large amounts of baby oil were recovered during searches of Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles in March of 2024, according to an indictment at that time. Law enforcement seized various freak-off supplies, including drugs and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant at his homes, according to the indictment. And then it says one more update. Judge expected to decide if Combs should be released while he awaits sentencing. And yeah, we already learned that he wanted those letters by 1 p.m. today. I'm sure both the defense and prosecution have gave them the letters already, so now it's up to him to see if he'll be released or not. And lastly, they have this analysis I was reading earlier. So Combs' sentence could be in the realm of time served. CNN legal analyst says it's possible that Sean Diddy Combs, who has been held in federal custody since he was arrested in September, could walk free today. Eli Koenig said. Did I just read this? I think I might have just read this. Let me just quickly scan. Oh, yeah, it looks like we did. We read this already. Oh, this is what I wanted to read. So Sean Diddy Combs has won, quote unquote, this case and defeated the Southern District of New York, said Eli Honig, a senior CNN legal analyst and former assistant U.S. attorney for the SDNY. He has defeated the Southern District of New York, which I work there. They don't like losing in court. They don't lose in court a lot, and there's no way to spin this. This is a devastating setback for the SDNY, Honig said. Combs was looking at the possibility of a 15-year mandatory minimum, potentially up to life, based on the more serious charges where the jury found not guilty. Now he's looking at a much lower sentence, and to that point, there is a realistic chance that the judge lets Sean Combs walk out today or maybe tomorrow, if it takes some time to post bail. Honing added. That is very interesting. So, whoo, child. Hey, Moon. Hey, Quinn. So, Chad, that was a lot. Does anybody want to add anything about this whole roller coaster of a trial that we have been on, that we've been reading? Go ahead, Chili.
There's a lot of things that Sean was accused of that we didn't hear anything about. Uh, Male rape and female rape that I don't think they really. Well, they talked to one girl about it, but there's a lot of things that I think have been left unsaid about him, and I wonder if more um, suits, like civil suits, it may not be a criminal trial, but civil suits come about if they're not afraid, to do so. I think just a lot was left out. Maybe
It
that was
most
wrong.
certainly was.
I mean, yeah, that's how I see it. I People are wondering a lot of things about how can he be charged with prostitution but not the trafficking part because he, went across state lines and such. But the fact that these people, I think trafficking is when you're dealing with an unwilling participant and
Mm-hmm.
actually forcing them to cross the state lines and trafficking them, getting paid for it, and somebody pays you money to sleep with that person and so forth. So the trafficking part, the fact that these women helped set up some of the freak offs, I think, is why the jury may have decided the way they did because it wasn't so clear cut that they were forced to do all of that all the time. Yes, he did force them at times, but each and every time, sometimes they seem to want to do it to please him, or they were in love with him, or he's paying their bills, and so on. So I can understand that verdict that they didn't make him guilty on that part. They didn't have the case against him. Yeah, he's done some bad things. They did convict him on the prostitution because that's sort of he did do that, but and they carry hefty sentences for those verdicts. So I don't think he'll get the full maximum on each of those verdicts, but I do think he will get some time. I personally don't think he's going to walk free today with time served. Not when it could be up to 10 years for each of those counts.
Yeah.
I would think now that would be egregious. That would be the ultimate insult of this whole thing. So I hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, I'm done. Come on, Moon.
Hey everybody.
Hey, girl.
Hey, gorgeous.
Hey gorgeous. Hey. I agree a lot with what Chili said. I do think that the New York prosecution really swung for the fences. Um, I don't think they should have introduced racketeering because I think in most people's minds that's a high bar. That's like mafia, um, a multi-layered organization, and you have one person on trial talking about racketeering. I don't think that added up for the people. Like, yeah, he had people doing things for him, but he's always had assistants. Whatever. Most celebrities have assistants, and multiple of them, especially if they're a billionaire. So if they would have done multiple lower level, like more like the prostitution, domestic, if they could have, one of them, I don't know, maybe the domestic abuse was past the statute of limitations, but I feel like if they would have garnered a lot more of the lower level crimes that he seems to be guilty of, he is a piece of shit. He is a narcissist asshole, which we knew that from TV. We knew he was a narcissist asshole. We knew that when Shine went to jail from the club that he was a piece of shit. Now, was he a multi-level organizational crime mob boss? No. But he was a domestic violent woman beating up men, whoever, to do whatever he wanted to do because he was a narcissist. I mean, we see Trump doing it every day. The only thing Trump ain't finna put his hands on nobody, but he will do everything else to tear you down. And
Well,
so
his
that's
hands are
where
too
I
small to
feel
put on anybody.
that too. But I feel like that's where they lost the plot. But I think they were also trying to take his money. I think, and that's my little koofy conspiracy part of it. I think when they saw an opening, they were like, one, we're gonna put you in your place because you think you all that nigga, and then we can access and take your money because I mean New York needs to be funded some type of way. I mean, you know, so I think they tried a little too hard for that instead of convicting him on a bunch of multiple lower level situations. I think they would have done a lot better.
So
That's
I'm
my
actually on the other side of that. So I do because I hear y'all and I definitely do think there's some conspiracy going on, because of course they don't like to see powerful men with money. But I'm of the belief that especially based off of what we were reading on the show, I think the prosecution proved a really, really good case. The problem is they just couldn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, and they had a jury pool of mostly men who so a lot of these and look at the ages of the men too. They range from 30 to 70. So there's no Gen Z men on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly millennials and Generation X and some boomers. You notice how they oh, I'm sorry, I'm hearing it. Are y'all hearing the
Uh,
echo?
yeah, you're echoing. Go ahead, Auntie.
Okay, so and you notice how like when it comes to sexual, and we even have and this is no dig at any Gen X or Boomer, it's really not. But you kind of know how when we have and hell, even some millennials, if you really want to wake it up. But when you have a conversation about like sexual assault and stuff, you kind of see that their stance on it is a little iffy.
Patriarch,
So
patriarchal.
Exactly. So I just kind of from and y'all remember I kept saying from the beginning I was like, it is too many. I do not like the idea that men outweigh women on this jury pool,
You
and he
said
has a
that.
good chance of.
You said that.
Like So, but I think the prosecution, I think they did a really good job because there most certainly was mob like behavior. He done hung that girl over that balcony. Remember Brianna
Yep.
Bongolan?
Yeah.
He was using fake names to buy drugs when he knew he wasn't supposed to, and distributing those drugs for his freak offs. And when all that shit when that hotel incident happened, he made sure that him and his assistants did everything that they could. They threatened, they bought out, so that shit could not get out. And we didn't find out about it till years later. So I definitely think there was some mob like behavior. It's just the problem was the prosecution weren't able to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So there's that. I
They
really
should
think
have
that this
had.
sent the message. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say they should have had the other people on trial. So if you're going to say it's a racketeering, then where's the rest of the people? Start putting their butts on trial too, and
Well,
then it would give it would give more credence to this being racketeering, except for this one person on trial. I'm not saying he's guilty of all the shit that he's guilty, but yes, like you said, you need to convince them a reasonable doubt that that's what that is. And if they have some doubt, like, well, there's wiggle room, then you didn't do your job, fam. You didn't do
That's
your
all
job.
it
Oh,
takes.
look at up in here and be using. Well,
Hey, chaotic cup. So I just hate that what this did was sent a message to sexual because it's already a message out there saying if you talk then people won't believe you, but this really just kind of added to that, and I hate that it did that.
well, when the text
So,
messages came out, that when Cassie was, yeah, I can't wait. I love freak offs when she was into it. And he introduced her to a lifestyle she probably wasn't familiar with. You're having orgies with men who are experienced sexually, and they was probably doing some things to her that she probably enjoyed. I get that. I get that. Sex isn't always unpleasurable, but when she didn't want to do it or wanted to stop, that's when it became a trafficking prostitution thing. But when those text messages first came out, because remember she was the first witness, you could see the men in the timeline. You know, I knew she was a hoe. That bitch loved. So
hmm
and there's almost all men on the jury, so that tells you right there what they were probably thinking, the same thing. You know, yeah, and it's sad that that perception stayed in spite of what was said after that, and showing when he beat her and so forth, it had surpassed the I'm enjoying this to I want out. They seem to ignore that part. So it's that's the wiggle. You can wiggle all day on that. Go ahead, Will.
No, you bring up a very interesting point, Joe, because that's something that I understood as well. Like most people don't recognize that with SA victims, their body can have a certain reaction that
Yeah.
could appear to be pleasurable,
Yes.
but the everything else is saying no. And I wish more people would understand that, and if they did, we would be they would have had a very different conversation in that jury room, which is why I was the most disgusted. But of course most people don't know that. It's really unfortunate. And
Yeah.
I also I have a twinge of fear. I'm not fearful for people, but I'm highly concerned for the folks that decided to testify against that man, against Tootsie Roll, because we know how much of a vengeful person that he has been in the past. So I, I just hope that they remain as safe as they possibly can because they literally put their lives on the line to speak out against the atrocities that they face at the hands of this person.
But he's
yep.
under scrutiny now, so I think if something happens to any of the witnesses, they'll definitely be looking back to them. And that pleasure thing, that counts even in cases of rape, even by a stranger. The body responds to sexual stimulation, and a lot of people don't understand that or are ashamed of it when they get raped, that they felt any kind of tingle of of pleasure there. So, and that's a scientific thing. So, yeah, yeah, a lot of people don't know that. Go
You're
ahead,
very right.
Moon.
You're very right. Yes, no, you're very right about that. And I think a lot of men, if they came to the, I think they don't ever want to admit. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. They never want to admit their participation because the level of women who have been raped, which is mostly by people that they know in relationships, they would have to admit that they are also that type of person. And
Ooh,
that is
child.
the thing. Men don't want to take that hard look at themselves and say, that woman that I kept pressuring, that I kept, come on, this, come on, that. And, that was your girlfriend and she said no, or your wife that she kept saying, no, I'm not in the mood, but you wouldn't let her go. You wouldn't let her. No, did you run back and go knock her down and drag her back in there? No, but you softly pressured her continually into getting what you wanted.
Got
And
on.
by definition, did you strong arm her? No. But you peer pressured her so hard that she couldn't be in a position to say no. You wanted your way.
Hmm.
And they don't like to look at that as rape. They don't think that.
No,
And
they
I'm
don't.
like, yeah, if y'all started to really believe that, then y'all would find out that y'all are the same kind of people.
Say
Yep.
that, girl. Say that.
Hmm.
Come on, favorite Taurus.
Uh, Very well stated, Miranda. I was also one thing. Another thing I found perplexing about this case when the topic of sexual assault came into the forefront was that why weren't there any medical professionals present or involved in the case that would have provided that context so the jurors would have a more well-rounded understanding of what sexual assault actually looks like,
Mm,
because again it's those nuances that were missing that would have made the prosecution much stronger in their stance,
good
and
point.
and it's really unfortunate that we're even here having this conversation about people not understanding the nuances or the breadth of what sexual assault actually is. It's very alarming, even us having this conversation right now. So, I'm also thinking, you know what? If people are in such high authority and they have all this knowledge, they have to talk to people or make that their knowledge accessible to others as well, and that'll have been helpful by having someone of within the medical field available to answer those questions. So of course, hindsight is always 2020, but it's shocking that we're even having this type of conversation and why it's such a nuanced conversation to be had. It's yeah.
Haven't seen anything like it on the timeline, that's for damn sure. And I mean, I know this isn't representative of everybody in the world, but it's representative of a lot of thought processes. And this conversation may be being had off the internet, but I haven't seen one line of thought concerning what we're saying here today.
Mm-mm, at all. I haven't seen it
And
either,
then,
girl. Y'all know I stay on Twitter.
and you won't, because no, because if you think about the rate of men that would have to be accountable for their actions, it would be an astronomical amount of people trying to, and they clearly they are not ready to reckon with that demon.
Nope.
From the scrubbiest of scrubs to the most powerful, the richest of the rich, they have all of them. Not that the numbers ain't adding up. All these women can't have experienced rape. Like, your statistics can't say that this large amount of women have had or experienced sexual assault in their life, and there's only like 100,000 men maybe accountable. No, it's more. Keep going. Keep going, Roger.
Mhm. Numbers don't lie. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
And part of me isn't surprised about that at all, because no shade, but motherfuckers are out here with the third grade reading level on Twitter can't even know the difference between there, and there. Like they most likely won't even have the capacity to even understand what it is that you're speaking about, because they are ignorant themselves about the most basic shit, you know. So I tend to stay off of there because like these remedial ass uh straight men who feed into patriarchy, and some of the women as well. They are very loud at this point in time, and they're loud and embarrassing and loud and wrong as well.
Whew, yes, Lord. Y'all better preach, honey. So, well, we have a comment. Don't insult third graders. You're right. Them babies got way more critical thinking skills and reading capabilities than them motherfuckers. I tell you. So, well, does it? And just a heads up, y'all. The next, like, I want to say, three stories are talking about lawsuits that have been dismissed as well. So I think this conversation is going to continue. But does anybody want to add anything about Diddy before we go on to the next? Ooh, child, with this next one, Andrew Tate, y'all. Whew, I am sorry to
Okay,
have to
we roll right into that.
report,
That piece of shit.
girl. Andrew Tate won't be prosecuted by LA District Attorney. Lawyer celebrates. Told you so. Ooh, child. Andrew Tate won't be charged in regards to the police report Bree Stern filed against him, alleging abusive behavior during his sexual encounter in March. TMZ can confirm. Y'all remember we talked about that. The Los Angeles District Attorney tells us the case was declined due to insufficient evidence, and Joseph McBride, the defense attorney representing Tate, says it's music to his ears. We're told by McBride he and Tate cooperated fully with the investigation after Bree filed a police report alleging Tate continually choked her during sex, despite telling him to stop. TMZ previously obtained alleged text messages between the pair, and the texts show the podcaster seemingly talking about hitting her in the context of sex. McBride tells us he provided a do not prosecute packet to the DA, giving all the reasons they shouldn't bring charges against Tate, and he made Andrew available for a deposition, answer all of their inquiries, and more. He says this. He says all this hard work paid off for Tate, and he says they will be doing the same in other jurisdictions where he's accused of wrongdoing. Ciao. McBride calls Stern accusations meritless, noting Tate's foes have weaponized courts globally to attack him. We're grateful the evidence clearly showed his innocence, sparing him an unjust indictment. Sources connected to Bree tells us she was not informed of the DA's decision. Oh. Andrew and his brother Tristan are still dealing with legal issues in Romania, where they are accused of sex trafficking and creating a criminal enterprise, similar to Diddy. Plus, it's the alleged assault despite this new development. Child. Like I said, this is doing nothing but sending messages to Now I just want to start off by saying, so we all know that there was, because we talked about this before, and this is like a whole BDSM situation that went wrong, and I believe that Andrew overstepped his he looked like the kind that will violate that safe word. So, and I think this is exactly what happened here, but they just similar to Cassie that we were just talking about, they used the text just against her, and that is really sad. So this definitely sends a message. But at the same time, this is gonna sound terrible coming out of my mouth. A lot of people have said it's you should have known better, but that's victim blaming, if you will. But I mean, it is okay. Let's blame this victim in this case. Girl, you knew exactly what Ante was before you started getting on with him. It is what it is. So
I
that's
feel
it on
like
that.
I low key agree with you, Auntie, because At some point, there has to be some level of accountability for your personal actions. You are a victim, but everybody likes to negate any type of um, responsibility for your choices. Now, maybe you didn't know about Andrew Tate. Maybe somehow you didn't know that was him. But when you found out, that didn't give you any reservation or pause. Like, maybe this isn't a very good person to be intimate with. And, and I'm not into victim blaming, but I also am a big advocate of accountability for our actions. And so I don't know, it's a very thin line between the two, I guess. And that's a problem.
All right. Well, Auntie is refreshing. Let's see who's on the mic.
I think we lost Auntie.
I think so. Um, account accountability is is a thing that I think some people totally don't even believe in. Like if you get sloppy, fall down drunk in a place, and like some guys rape you or a man rapes you, um, you're not at home. You're at a place where there's a lot of men, and we know that sex drive in men is very, very strong, and they will take advantage of women. And when you fall down drunk and you cannot defend yourself and you get raped, yeah, you shouldn't have been raped, but you should also be accountable for your own mobility and clarity and thinking. So you you play a part in that. Yeah, it's a crime for a man to take advantage of you, but also you have a contributing factor to that. And a lot of people don't want to say that because, oh, it's victim blaming, it's victim blaming. I'm not concerned about how women are dressed because men will rape you if you're wearing a gunny sack bunny suit. That's not it. It's putting yourself in a situation where you cannot defend yourself, you know and I just don't believe in that, and so many women do that, and go out, and their friends will leave them alone, or everybody's drunk, you drunk, your friends drunk, and something happens. I mean, this is such a common occurrence. Like, why? I would never i would never put myself in that condition, in a place where I couldn't defend myself. I just wouldn't do it. So yeah, but if you say that, you're victim blaming. No, she shouldn't be raped on any. I don't care if she walked around naked and fell down drunk or whatever. Girl, let's be realistic here. We're talking about testosterone
Absolutely, chill.
and the
I'm
sex.
like, absolutely. At this point, we know there's a lot of men with no self control.
None.
So you walking around butt naked, you're putting yourself at danger. When you go into the ocean, there is a risk you get bit by a shark. A shark is
Mm-hmm.
going to do what a shark is going to do. Predators are going to do what predators do.
Yep.
It's on you to make sure you're safe. It's on you to protect yourself.
Yep. Yep.
And I just, doing things like that where you're compromising your safety and then saying, well, people shouldn't have did it. Well, no shit. There's people who shouldn't murder. There's people who shouldn't touch children, but they do.
They do. And get opportunity, and you giving them the opportunity. So, and it happens. They're predators. You can't walk around acting like they aren't, and then think you don't have any accountability for being in a state where you can't, do anything about it. Come on, Will.
I I I, I want to be respectful when I say this. I agree with both you, Chill, and Miranda. I just feel it's very unfortunate that we live in a world where the earnest is put so much on women to protect themselves as opposed to men being
being
conditioned to leave people the fuck alone. I'm not a woman, but it just hearing the story secondhand, it is so exhausting, to even imagine what a woman has to go through on a daily basis just to ensure that she is safe because men or people don't have the capacity to understand. Again, back to that third grade reading level, they don't understand you don't touch people when you don't want them to. Like it's 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 a very jarring conversation that we are still having, unfortunately, which makes me mildly upset. So
For thousands of years, honey, this has been going on since women and men walked the earth, and it's in big old 2025. It's still happening. There are predatory men, and I don't know what it's going to take to stop that behavior. Um, but it has existed for thousands of years, Will, and that's just the truth of it. The truth of it. Look at the. I mean, there are so many cases of where women being raped in war situations. Like rape is a prize you get for overrunning whatever village or whatever the hell is going on. Rape is a big part of that. Look how they treated the Chinese comfort women. I mean, there's situations. Look how they abduct the girls in Africa and take them away from their families, and you know eh, they don't have a choice either. So it's just something that has existed, and it's a culture, a male culture that just will not die. And that's, I'm sorry to say, that's just how it is. Unfortunately. Go ahead, Quinn.
Hey y'all, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Yep, yep. Okay, so first I want to say, Will, I want to thank you for always having the perspective of women in mind when you speak about things that happen, because you're a breath of fresh air, and I wish, honest to God, wish that 2% of men had the mindset that you have. Unfortunately, like Chill said, we live in a world where that is not the case. There are even cases where men don't even, it's not even about the woman, right? It's about power and men wanting to have dominance over people, where they don't only just seek out women, they seek out anybody they can do that to. So I want to just say that. Um to touch back on earlier about what you guys were talking about, Andrew Tate's girlfriend, and what Moon was hitting on as far as accountability. I do I do not believe that acknowledging someone's responsibility for being accountable for their own personal actions is victim blaming, in my perspective. Because we as women, unfortunately, the race that we are, the gender that we are, we know the way the world is set up. In a perfect world, we could be out, do whatever we want, and it never be a fucking problem. But unfortunately, we live in a society where we have master predators everywhere, unfortunately. And in the case of this girl dealing with someone who is a known predator, right? Who has a track record of not being a good person, and thinking that you're going to be the exception and not the rule, is insanity, right?
Stupid.
To
For
me,
real.
is insanity. Do I
Yes.
believe that there's some cases where people, who are actively making strides to make amends or change their ways, right? Going to therapy, seeking help, etc., who you may say, hey, I want to give this person a chance? Absolutely. But for someone who does not have changed behavior, who has a track record of being a fucking predator, of being an abusive person, and then thinking that you're going to be different is fucking insanity. Same can be said with the accountability of women being responsible for their safety no matter where they are, right? So I'm going to speak to the fact that I was in a male dominated um industry, right? The military, and the many of times that I have literally had to save girls because they decided that they want to have a good time, get fucking drunk, and do whatever. And their friends, their girlfriends, homegirls, left them to be
Lord knows.
anybody's victim
Yep.
because
Left
oh
them for
she's
dead.
yeah,
Left
because
them for
she's a sloppy drunk, she's this and that and third. Like the amount of times I have seen that happen is too many. One, your friends, a lot of times women's friends are not their friends. And at the end of the day, you are responsible. You as a being are responsible for your safety. So, with all that being said, I believe account pointing out that somebody should have accountability of their actions is not victim blaming. Understanding that that accountability does not always feel good, right? We know that things happen, but having that mirror putting up to you, showing where that how you made a an environment for something to happen, so that you can have that for as a reference point to do better or to educate others. There is nothing wrong with acknowledging that.
Quinn, thank you so much. That really means a lot coming from you. I swear it does. Because when I was talking, I was like, oh God, this is going to sound like I'm victim blaming, and I'm really not. I'm here for the victims. I'm going to always put the victims first. But it's like, girl, in this case, you know better. It's Andrew Tate we're
It's
talking
Andrew
about.
Tate we're talking about. Yes. Andrew Tate of all fucking people. Just like his name, you could Google it. Don't ring sweetly out here in these streets. And honestly, I've always felt this way. I mean, going back to Mike Tyson and oh girl, I've always known. Do not. I've been taught. Do not put yourself in situations that could potentially harm you. Like I have a thing where like I was smoking a little weed. I was a teenager with my friends, and I'm all of 5'4", and back then I was super skinny. So anybody could just toss me around. I went with my homeboys that were my friends. My friends. I went and smoked with them, and everything was fine until one person decided to just comment on my body. He said something along the nature of like, I bet your ass is like my actual butt is like dark black, some shit like that, right?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Now, mind you, we're inebriated now. It's three big, they're big boys. They're not like little skinny, wafy, like I could take you on. These are three big boys. That one comment, I packed up. I said, let me get my little stuff here. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. I'm out. Because what you're not going to do is have me in a position feeling uncomfortable. I'm one female by myself. Oh, absolutely not. We're out of here. Now, did I think personally, would they harm me? No. But I ain't fucking around to find out. And
Exactly.
so, exactly. And, and so, if women even took that iota of responsibility of their safety and not walking around with the presumption of that people should just do what they're supposed to do. Well, yeah, duh. Yeah, we all know that. But we're in a society in a world with humans that don't.
I thought that
And
from my friends.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Why are you going to someone's house at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why are you going to a man's house at 3 o'clock in the morning and thinking y'all gonna have a conversation? I ain't never thought. I was young and I ain't never thought that. So why would you put yourself in harm's way and just think, oh well, they weren't. Well, yeah, you ain't supposed to do a lot of shit. but people do it. And so, outside of this, you know, um, you can't really have this honest conversation because people are like, well, you're victim blaming and this and this and this. And I'm like, well, the reality is everybody, you have to learn, you have to take accountability. And that's the one thing I've been trying to instill in my son because men, a lot of these hetero men, they come out the womb with they don't want to take accountability, and and it must be a gaslighting course in the womb because them little motherfuckers come out gaslighting. I said, what the hell? How you learn all this and you ain't been nowhere? What? So that's something you have to instill in children as they're growing up, and a lot of people don't because those parents aren't taking accountability for their actions. So how are you going to tell somebody else to be accountable when you ain't doing it for yourself?
Ooh, deep
Ooh, I
convo,
know
y'all.
that's right.
I
I
love it.
love it.
Go ahead,
Go
Queen.
ahead, Quinn.
I also want to reiterate the fact that I think you guys discussed it earlier, but the fact that a lot of the times when these sexual assault statistics are happening, these are happening by people that you wouldn't think would do something to you, right? These are people who are smiling in your face, they're your family, they're your friends, they're this, that, and the third. It happens all the time. And yes, it happens between both genders. I also want to acknowledge that because there are women abusers too. But it's the fact that
Absolutely.
people it's the fact that people get comfortable in a space of, well, that person wouldn't do this thing to me because they are a good person, because they are in the church, because they do whatever have whatever position of power that they have, or whatever it may be. They psych themselves up to 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 project the kind of what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of morals, the kind of moral compass that most good and decent people have, right? Hey, don't touch somebody that doesn't want to be touched. You know, be mindful that a personal space, etc., etc. Those things. There's so many more people who don't have that general sense or general moral compass of, hey, I need to respect somebody when they tell me no. I need to respect somebody even if I am aroused, even if I blah 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 blah, whatever the case may be. Choose half naked, choose this, that, whatever excuse it is. Understand that even though you have that moral compass and you know right from wrong, there are so many people who get tipped to doing wrong because of the fact that they don't have willpower or they don't have the strong moral compass that some people may have. It just is what it is. And it's easy to identify the people like Andrew Tate's of the world because they walk around and they have a track record, but they're the ones who get away with it the most are the motherfuckers who will sit, smile in your face, everybody love them. I couldn't be this person. Couldn't be this person. I've known him for 20,000 years. I know XYZ for however long. They would never do something like this. Those are the people also who are unsuspecting that do things to others too.
Wake it up, girl. For real, for real. And you are absolute 100%, which hell, 1000% right. So I believe all victims, the hell. So that's
Your
just,
friend,
I,
your family, your cousin, your uncle, baby, you ain't safe from none of them. I don't care
mhm.
who it is, because men.
Yes, indeed. What does anybody want to add anything about Tate before we start talking about another problematic man who had a lawsuit dismissed? Well, the next one, y'all, Chris Brown. Remember we talked about his ass going over to the UK, and as soon as he got out that jet, hey bitch, got something. Well, that's actually been settled. That lawsuit, and you right. Oh, girl. So Chris Brown's putting one part of his legal battle over an alleged nightclub fight behind him, as he seems to have reached a settlement with the guy who sued him over it. And I don't know if his name is pronounced Abe or Abe Diao, so I'm just going to call him Abe for now. So Abe Diao sued Chris back in 2023, claiming the singer struck him with a tequila bottle during an appearance at Tape nightclub in London. But on Friday, Abe filed docs asking the LA County judge to dismiss the suit. According to the docs, DI wants it dismissed with prejudice, meaning he can't refile it, and that typically means there was a settlement between the parties. We don't know if there was any money exchanged. We've reached out to attorneys for Chris and Abe. In the suit, Dial claimed Chris not only struck him 3 times with the bottle of Don Julio 1942, but while he was unconscious on the floor, Chris continued to ruthlessly stomp on him, leaving him with some lasting injuries. And here's a photo of the injuries. Oh, he need a manicure, honey. Oh, look at the nails. Anyway, assuming the judge signs off on the dismissal, Chris Brown will still have to deal with his criminal case for the incident. Remember, he was arrested earlier this year, shortly after landing in the UK for his world tour. Prosecutors have charged him with assault and possession of a weapon. He was eventually released on bail and appeared in court 10 days to enter a not guilty plea. So, from what it looks like, he still have to deal with the criminal case, but the case between him and that producer was settled. It looks like. Oh,
And
child.
the discourse of, well, Karush and Rihanna forgave him, showing pictures of them smiling at him when they saw him, later on down the line. Well, if they forgive him, everything must be fine. It's okay if we like him now because they don't see a problem with it. This is tying into what we were just talking about. Go ahead, Will.
I was just going to say that, Chill. It is so alarming to me how women in particular will back this man with his violent tendencies. Like very prominent women in the industry are speaking out in support of him, knowing his past. That was very confusing to me. And I was and when Auntie was reading the story, I was like, you know what, this sounds very, very similar to someone who is an apologist, I believe that the name is, for someone who performs acts of sexual assault or what have you, just making excuses. And I believe it's all tied into the patriarchy. And these people, like Coke Brown, are able to just get away with it because they know people were kind of cape for him, which is unfortunate. And of course, when behavior doesn't go unchecked, it continues to happen. So
Yes, indeed. Go ahead, Libra Queen.
I got dropped earlier. I wanted to come say, I'm almost certain that you pronounce his name Abdal, because I'm pretty sure he's Senegalese or from that area. Um, but also too, you mentioned it in the article, but people don't read. So just this is also to just reiterate that just because it's set there's a settlement happening, the criminal aspect of it is still on the table. But also, he is
Yep.
another example of you got a track record and you're not trying to change your ways. You know, you're not looking in the man in the mirror. You're not trying to change your ways, and then you gaslight people.
Narcissism is a hell of a drug.
You gaslight people. You make your try to make yourself a victim about, oh, I can't do X, Y, and Z. Because I can't do X, Y, and Z because of this, that, and the third, and people trying to hold me back. Yeah, I'm sorry to that man, but not sorry to that man.
Hello. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
and to your point, Quinn, because there's no incentive for him to do better. Like in the music industry, he still uses that person to get a feature, to get put people over. He's still that person. So he's so well insulated and protected that in order for those changes to actually happen, it would have to hit him in his pockets deep. Or those in close proximity to him. I don't want to put a relationship out there. I'll just say those in close proximity with him in order for a message to be sent. Would it be received? I don't know. But in order for him to even recognize a message was sent, those things would have to happen, which is unfortunate.
Now, no offense, because this is going to sound very offensive, but and I mean no offense about it. But you have you tried telling a tourist man anything?
Excuse
You can
me?
tell him anything you want. Look, you can tell him. Look, his circle can tell him anything that they want to tell him. It is going to go in one ear and out the other.
You know what,
Cl-
Auntie?
clicks small, clicks fingers together.
Mm-mm. You know, Auntie, celery, bell pepper, squash, cucumber.
Wow.
Yes, yes, yes. Still there.
You see
Damn,
what
you
I mean?
just
Just
cussed me
harsh.
out, Auntie. Woo, you got a tongue lashing.
Hmm.
But on the low, clock that T.
Now, you are a special case, honey, but I'm telling the tourist men I have dealt with, woo child.
No, he isn't.
He isn't.
Well, look, in my best cut voice. Well,
We're not dating him. Best believe
Best believe that
Taurus all the way through. You hear me?
all the
No,
You
way.
hear me?
y'all are not right. I'm a saint.
Mm.
A
Are you?
first-hand experience with a Taurus? Absolutely not, sir. No, absolutely not.
I'm a, I'm gonna tell you.
Do I love you down? Yes, but diabolical are you? Yes.
Listen, as a product of a Taurus birth mother, I'm gonna tell you right now, diabolical. And I love her down, but yes, y'all be diabolical. Y'all admit that y'all fucked up, right? Y'all will do it and still do the same thing, and then be like, "But I can't help it. If somebody help me. It's about me sometimes." And it's cool because we love you. We love you all most of the time.
I am offended with a capital.
Well, does anybody want to add anything else about Coke Brown or Taurus men before we go to the next
Coke Brown
story?
is taking me down.
Oh my gosh.
Look at Chaotic Coke fine ass decided to grace us with his presence. Yes.
Yes, dog.
And now he did. And now he. Now we got a video.
Look, he
Now
was
he
like, "This
turned
is too
on
much
his.
fine for y'all."
Now he turned on his camera.
He didn't even know.
You see,
That
this is
stop
what you get.
clicking buttons.
Right. This is what you get for
Right,
not
this is what you
having
get for not having
camera cover.
camera cover.
Can you turn on your camera? Does it work on the
It
phone?
should. Well, I don't know about the phone. He's on his computer.
Well, Miranda, fingers crossed. That's all I'll say.
Mm.
Yeah, it works.
You know what?
Well, our next story, honey, y'all probably seen this as well. I'm sharing this vibe link. Jay-Z's defamation and extortion lawsuit against Tony Busby gets dismissed. So Tony Busby got like one small win. He ate that one little thing. So
Mm.
Jay-Z's campaign against Tony Busby has run into a snag. A California judge dismissed his extortion and defamation lawsuit against the controversial attorney. Mark Epstein, a Los Angeles County judge, admitted that he was not wholly satisfied with his decision in a new 65-page ruling per Rolling Stone. Epstein said he had to weigh the competing interests at play, but will ultimately leave the final decision in the hands of the Court of Appeal. So, despite making this decision, he ended his ruling saying to stay tuned. Now, that's crazy, but anyway, Hove sued Busby last year after the rape accusations against him were dropped, which the Texas lawyer was a driving force behind. The Brooklyn rapper claimed that Busby knew he was operating on false information, yet still proceeded with the suit. He also accused the 56-year-old attorney of contacting him on two separate occasions to demand money before adding him to Diddy's rape lawsuit, which Holmes believed was due to him not handing over the requested money. I'm sorry. Let me. Tony Busby is only 56 years old. I thought that man was close to 70. I'm not even playing. Anyway,
Well, you know what they say.
right. Age like milk, honey. The 99 Problems Rappers legal team was not pleased with the Judge Epstein's decision. We are surprised and disappointed by this ruling, which turns on the misapplication of California law on the admissibility of the investigator statements, his lawyer Alex Bureau told Rolling Stone. Notably, the judge expressly states that his decision would have changed dramatically if he had admitted to statements into evidence, um, as they would have shown not only that Carter had nothing to do with the sexual assault on Doe, but that Busby knew it. And thus, the court would come out on the other way on the motion. What does it say about our justice system if someone can knowingly bring about completely false claims of the most heinous nature imaginable against an innocent individual and get away with it on a technicality? Busby, on the other hand, was thrilled to be on the right side of a drop lawsuit this time around. Yet another huge win, he wrote on X.
Mm.
John Doe's case against me and the Busby law firm alleging extortion and defamation was thrown out by the court. As I said when it was filed, the case was completely meritless. We will now seek attorney fees against John Doe for bringing the legally flawed case.
The caucasity. Get out of
Mm-mm.
here. What does it say about our justice system that it can be thrown out on a technicality? I mean,
Exactly.
oh my God, disgusting.
Shall go
Hey,
ahead, favorite
Quinn.
tour.
Well, Quinn had her hand up, and I guess she did something that went down, but she was first.
Okay, go ahead, Libra Queen.
Thank you, Chill. I just wanted to reiterate because I think we've talked about this before in other lawsuits or some other timeline situation, but defamation and libel is so hard to prove legally, quote unquote. Especially when the person that is bringing the suit has like notoriety, and that's what a lot of times people don't realize. It's like you basically have to be like here's A, B, C, here's the whole equation, and put it in there, and and say there's no way you cannot see that this person was doing this to be spiteful, whatever the fuck they were doing. Um, and the fact that like his legal team um didn't do that is kind of surprising. And hopefully they don't have to pay the other man's legal fees.
Hopefully. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
No, Quinn, you actually bring up a very good point because I was actually going to ask a question about that because I'm a bit ignorant on the law. So when it comes to like defamation or have you, doesn't the person have to prove that the false claims caused them to have some sort of financial hardship or cost them money or something like that?
Yes,
I
and
believe
it
so, yeah.
so based off the law, it's I think more descriptive based off of like each state's law. But essentially that is the premise behind it, is that you person causing for defamation or suing for defamation has been impeded in a financial manner because someone said something about you that caused detriment to your character, your person, whatever. Which echoing
Gotcha.
um
So
that
so Quinn, so do you know? Okay, that brings my last question, and I'll move on. So like since you stated that it's hard for a person of visibility and notoriety to claim defamation, is there like a certain percentage amount that they'd be have to lose in order for it to qualify as defamation, or is it kind of like open? Do you know?
I do not know, but again, like I said, a lot of times it's based off of the states like what's it called? What's the precedence? I would just say the state's precedence for it. So like um I don't even have an example of where there's been a win recently for a celebrity where that's happened. Cup. What did you say? Most of the time, that yeah, it's up to the judge.
That is nasty work. That's crazy.
It sure is. And I was actually curious, so I did some Googling. And it's a, I like shit in pictures, like I'm a kindergartner, honey, because this looks like and this confirms what Quinn was saying. It says the 5 elements of defamation. The statement was communicated to a third party. The statement clearly refers to the plaintiff. The statement harmed the plaintiff's reputation. The statement is demonstrably false, and the person who made statement was at fault. Mm. Yeah. Well, let's just say that's why we say allegedly here all the time because y'all won't catch us up in no damn defamations.
Allegedly.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
So now it kind of makes sense as to why Tony took the case in to begin with, because I'm going to take this case. You got to prove I caused defamation and a boo boo because you're a rich man.
Right, and
that is nasty. Ew.
And what I also want to know is whether or not he represented himself. Like, did his law firm represent themselves, or did they call in outside counsel? Because if they represented himself and he's asking for legal fees, they're essentially he's paying himself, which is crazy.
That is insane. This system is so corrupt.
The biggest case win has been against journalists. Yeah, journalists. Yeah, but and in that case, I think that would be that is libel. Those wins have been basically libel, not straight defamation.
Didn't Trump just win $16 million against an interview with CNN? And was it Kamala or was it him?
No, not that one. It was George Stephanopoulos, and they settled. Actually, ABC could have won. There wasn't any defamation, but they didn't want to fight it, so they paid. The one about Kamala, I don't think anything has gone through with that one with 60 Minutes. I think it was a 60 Minutes interview.
Look at CNN. I just saw that on Twitter today. They agreed to pay him $16 million.
That's something else then. I don't know about that one. I just know about the ABC one and the 60 Minutes one. But if there's one with CNN, but I'm not surprised.
But what damage did it do? Not a damn thing.
Not a thing, child.
As I can see.
Oh, and I want to clarify myself again. Libel is for like written, like articles written, defamation. Considered defamation, I guess would be the best description of it. And George Snuffleupagus, excuse me.
What, Stephanopoulos? What about him?
We'll allow it.
It's the name for me. I just need to know what it means, though. Where did it originate? I know he got
in Whoville.
No, what's the other one? Damn, what's the other show? Elmo Street. Are they the ones that got to quit weird names?
Sesame Street.
Oh, Sesame Street.
Sesame Street.
Yeah. Not you said Elmo Street. Oh Lord.
Elmo, y'all knew what I was talking about.
Same thing.
It's a lot of big words for Elmo.
Well, Auntie said Whoville. So there.
That's another neighborhood entirely, right?
Uh-huh. Yes, it is, honey. Well, did anybody want to add anything about Snuffleupagus or Whoville or Sesame Street before we go to the next story? Well, this next story is actually still talking about Jay-Z. So Jeezy actually revealed that he was the one that was supposed to have been on Beyonce's Drunken Love. And he talks about his relationship with Diddy on this the 7 p.m. to Brooklyn podcast. So we're just going to watch this little clip of him talking about it.
Excuse me.
So, and I'm sorry, Queen, you want to say something before I start the video?
No, start the video because I've seen this. I like this little story that he told.
Okay. Good.
I don't know if y'all know, I dropped the ball when I wrote my verse for Drunken Love for Beyonce.
Oh, wow.
Because I was on
I didn't even know he was on.
Oh, yeah. Your Hov called me. He's like, I took you off the song, by the way. I'm on there. I was like, I figured that.
Is there a Drunken Love version floating out there?
It's somebody's drive.
Somewhere?
This is somebody's drive. Tell B we need to put that out. You know what I'm saying? It's some vintage. I've never been in the room with Hov. Only time I was in the room with Hov was when I wrote the Drunken Love verse, and that was a mistake.
Really?
No more. He came in the room. She's like, "You got something for this?" You know, I'm going in. It sounded crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's her song, but I'm just trying to go hard. You know what I'm saying? He probably like, "Oh no." Like, we're not putting that out. I've seen Jay records before. Like he was doing Blueprint 3. He called me. He's like, "What you sitting on over there?" And I was like, "What you want?" And I said, "Yo, I got this record called Real As It Get." Shoot it right over to him.
Mhm.
He called me. I love it.
Mhm.
Change this part, change that part. Gave him the song. He called me about My President's Black. I didn't even hear the record. He called me to do the inauguration party with him. I do the inauguration party. We go over to Love in DC and we up there just chilling. He have Lenny S. He played the song. I do my verse. They stopped the song and played the instrumental. He started rapping a verse I've never heard before to the remix. I'm like, this is crazy.
So that time he performed that record was the first time
I heard it.
Wow.
Ever in my life. And this is crazy, bro. And I mean this in the most respectful way possible. I got more records with Hov than he got with Big.
That's a fact.
Imagine that. And none of those records came by me, yo, I gotta get my, it was more so like, yo, I got this. You like, yo, send it over.
Mhm.
He'll send the fire emojis. I already know what that means. I ain't even calling him no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look up one day, it's gonna be in my Gmail. And you gotta think, like I grew up listening to Hope. The joint you had with Foxy Brown back in the day and all that stuff. Like that was my soundtrack. That was motivating me then. So even now when we connected and we was doing music together, I felt like we just tag team on motivating. Like, you know, he hit me up for the Every Day I'm Hustling remix. That was Hov. You know what I'm saying? Like he would hit me for stuff. And then this is crazy. No, I never told nobody this. The reason why I went so hard and I brought up the Usher record was the Love in the Club, because I sat in that room and it was like 30 people in there. And I was on the floor with my shoes off. I mean, I was stressing. I was like, I gotta get this. Because the chatter was they wanted Jay-Z on the song. And I'm like, I gotta get on. I need this.
Not missing this opportunity.
And I put the verse down. Polo them went crazy. Shout out to Polo. He's the realest.
Yeah.
Because the label was like, we're going to change this up. We're going to put this person on the song. Polo called me. He said, listen to the radio tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I said, what you going to do? Don't worry about it. He leaked the record. That's what I'm saying. He put the record out in the world. You know what I'm saying? It was like the crazy ever. But Jay called me. He was just laughing. He was like, I wasn't gonna do you like that, man. You good. I was just like, yo, I didn't know. And he called me after I did the video. He's like, yeah, you did good, man. Yeah, you didn't get lost in it. You stayed yourself. I love that.
That's a real friendship.
Right.
I love that Jeezy is telling his. I just thought that was the cutest. And usually, like when straight men get together, their conversations don't be cute like that. But that was cute. I like that. So, Quinn, before I ask my favorite tours, you had something you wanted to say about this, right?
Oh no, I wanted to reiterate that I too love this. Shout out to Black men and Black men support and Black men encouragement, and go team Black men, amen. But I also think it was very the way that he was describing the occurrences was very very Jay-Z coded. Like, I believe in real life that like these things actually occurred.
Oh, absolutely, not a doubt. And no shade to them Lioness Libra men, but I believe every word that he said this time.
Exactly.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
There is so much lore around this damn song. First, it was Future song. Then he has a song called "I've Been Drinking," which is essentially "Drunken Love" that came out before "Drunken Love," and now we're hearing that Jay-Z took a Jeezy off the song. There's just too much going on around this goddamn song that's not even that great. I'm so sorry. It's not one of my favorites.
No, wait a minute now.
Yes.
What do you mean not that great?
Yes, it is not great.
You're right. It's awesome.
No. She was on the Grammys with the Ramundo wig on. No, absolutely not. It's a bad song. I don't like it.
God.
Not too much on that witchy lady now.
You leave that song alone.
It's bad. I'm so sorry. But more power to us.
Go ahead, gorgeous.
I was just gonna say, I'm glad. I was anticipating him saying something worse, but I guess that wasn't that bad. It was cool.
Yeah.
Because he already crossed the line with Nia, and I'm like, sit down and be quiet. Quit trying to be relevant. Bye, boy.
Hey, what's that saying? I actually don't. What's that saying? You miss the 100% of the shots you don't take. So that even though I thought it was in poor taste, I mean, you miss the 100% of the shots you don't take. So how would Nia Long know he was interested if he didn't say nothing? I mean, hey, but
and I just wanted on. I just wanted on record that he can never talk about being the GOAT based off of this conversation, this story. I just want that to be cemented in record that he can never talk about, well, I'm one of the GOATs, I am the GOAT. No, you're not, sir. Just
Well,
let that be clear.
well, wait a minute now. No, wait. Because as a huge fan of G, especially his
We love
mixtapes,
the snowman. We love a good snowman, okay? But when conversations of who the GOATs are, yeah.
he should definitely be in that conversation.
Yes, Cup. Jeezy is a hood hero. He is a forerunner of the South, absolutely. But
Oh,
he is not a GOAT.
Well, Queen,
wow.
and you're right. I'm with you. I'm with you, girl.
Hello,
You right on this one.
hello.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
What is
I
that
was,
thing? Never outshine your masters. I'm just saying.
for a second, I had a moment. I was like, why is there a fascination with farm animals? Then I read it out loud. Greatest of all, duh. Hello.
Farm
Oh my
animals.
God.
Why do you want to be a goat? I don't understand. Oh, that's what it stands for. My bad. Never mind. Moving on.
And yeah, I guess y'all are right because I'm from the South, was raised in the South, and Jeezy was very big. Honey, I remember Jeezy like because of him, he literally had young boys not being able to wear t-shirts that had snowman on them in school, and I just thought that shit was crazy.
Yeah. So hood
Especially,
heroes.
I just thought that he could be in that conversation with the Greats because of what he did with
No.
mixtapes. Both him and Lil Wayne really changed mixtapes to
Yeah.
me.
He is not. He is not Lil Wayne. Um.
Okay.
He is. He is not Lil Wayne. He is absolutely a hood hero. We will never take that. You talking about having motivational music? Hello. He definitely has that.
Jeezy, the first album was Thug Motivation 101.
And listen, and he has that. We will never take him being the person when they have the conversation about the best to do it from the South. He is always there. He is always there. But I'm talking about greatest of all time collectively, right? And they'd be like, "Who's in your top 5?" Yeah, he can't. He can't say that. He can't say, "Well, I'm one of them one." No, you're not.
My
Actually,
mouth is wide open. Oh my God. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
Well, hell, if Jeezy's a goat, you might as well throw Kia's ass in there too while you at it. Shit.
You might as well, and why not? Why wouldn't you? Because that's a whole nother, and we can have that conversation, honey. Kai, she said she got hits that stick like grits, and she's not lying.
Auntie,
he
you
said she
got
was
your
what?
own personal list, and that's okay. That's good.
Kai said she
We
was who?
support you. Yeah, that's cute.
What Kai said she was?
She said she got hits that stick like grits.
And hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. I'm gonna tell you one thing for free. Hello, she is not lying. I have been all over the world, and when I tell you the shock is surprised at some of the places I've been where they have been playing key. What are you talking about? Why are you playing Kang Wang with it? You melanin challenge people. What y'all know about this?
I tried to
What
tell
you know
y'all.
about my neck, my back? When I tell you she ain't never gonna be broke and she have to worry about royalties for my neck, my back, please. She ain't lying. That she is not lying.
Was recently there was a commercial that kind of they used it, the essence of it, so she might not be getting paid for it, but I was like, wait, is that my neck, my back on the commercial? Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully she's getting paid for it. But
Let us pray.
Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
She's not, because she doesn't own the rights to the song. I don't think she's a writer on the song. So whenever it's featured somewhere, she probably gets like, I want to say, well, I don't want to throw a figurative number out there, but she gets paid very, very little, if at all, because she does not own that song. She did not write that. So, well, if she write it, she doesn't have the publishing for that song, none of that. So essentially, it's the same thing with shit. Cisco's a thong song. He don't own that shit either. And so,
Oh, that's the saddest story ever. Oh,
right, that's
and
why
they fumbled that.
that's why
That
he
was a
stays
fumble.
to this day because he didn't do business right. But no, it's unfortunate. I mean, allegedly Kaya is very popular and she has hits that stick like Quaker Oats, I guess, but she's not getting paid
Oh,
for them. Huh?
I mean, she does though. I'm telling you, as a witness that has been to 5 different continents. My girl be getting her shit off. Like her shit be getting off in the club, in the function. I'm like, oh, say less. But come to the forefront because you over here talking about Future is your goat or is in the goat talk community, sir. Let's be clear. He is toxic kid. Oh, you was kidding. Okay, I had to. I needed to. You know what I'm saying?
look, I
We
think
need
only
a
half of him
kumbaya.
was kidding.
We need a kumbaya. Toxic king can't be a goat. Sorry. If we go by sales, though, we're not going by sales, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're not going by because if that was the case, that other man with the deflated titty.
Oh, they're all
Okay, that
toxic.
deflated boob is killing me to this day.
Because everybody was talking about the Hawaiian rolls, but no, did you not see that deflated nipple? Like, let's be for real.
Mm-hmm. Built like a trans man that just had top surgery. I was like, wow, why does it look like that?
Wait, you can't have that much amount of money, and then you come out put it with a picture with one peck flated and one flat. What the hell is that?
He got what they say about the people who like have an addiction to surgery. What they become they start to experience body dysmorphia, like they can't see. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost certain that one.
That's what it's giving for real, for real, for real. And they want to know who we talking about in the chat. We talking about that biracial Canadian.
Right. BBL drizzle.
BBL Drizzy. Look here, allegedly, because he like to sue. Um, he he can't stop being a cornball to save his life. Poor guy.
That's what happens
Mm-hmm.
when you cosplay.
Wake it up.
Check the chat, man.
Thank you, Cub. Well, speaking of cosplay and cultural appropriation, I guess it's actually a good segue into our next story. Did anybody want to add anything about this one that we just talked about before we go on?
No.
Well, well, this next story, y'all, Cardi B. And I think I've talked on the show before how I'm really not a fan of hers, but it's really not her fault and stuff like we can have that conversation over again if you want. But she has actually been accused of stealing another song. So let me get the link here. Her latest song, Outside, she was actually accused of stealing that from a rapper from Charlotte, North Carolina, by the way. So let me just go down here to the
Shocker.
link, the video that talks about it. Let me see if I can get y'all here. Where is it? Oh, here
I
it
love the
is.
loyalty because y'all was beefing that they wedding, but it's still beef is up and it's stuck.
Which isn't that one of her songs as well?
Oh, so maybe I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to because it looks like this article is moving kind of slowly. So maybe I'll just click the tick. Say what now?
And I was just asking if that was one of her songs as well, and it was confirmed that it was.
Ah, okay. So sorry, y'all. I'm just gonna go straight to the TikTok link because this article is acting funky. So let me share this here. Well, damn, is it my internet moving this slow? God damn.
No, to be fair,
Jeez,
sometimes
honey.
this TikTok
Sorry,
is.
y'all. Give me one.
Oh, shit.
Ah, let me just see if it pulls up first without me sharing, and we'll go from there because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, working's ghetto.
I know you're not. Please.
Absolutely.
Please.
Cup, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm good.
My internet friend, my meme buddy.
Yeah, I'm good.
Cub, are you
Cub, are you
going to see the witchy lady?
Ariva?
No.
Oh,
But don't say.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna need to talk to you offline.
Where are you going to see her at?
Here.
here?
DC. She's gonna be
Oh,
in DC on
She's gonna be
Friday.
in DC on Friday.
Well,
oh,
she's
on
probably already
Friday.
in
She's
DC.
probably already
She's
in
right. Or
DC.
DC.
She's right. Or
Ooh,
DC. Ooh.
she's probably already in DC. But yeah, she got a show on Friday. But I need 2 patches.
Okay, I found the TikTok video.
Yeah, I saw that
All
story.
right, let me
And
share this video real quick.
if it go to court, she gonna lose.
And we love that for the lady that's coming from North Carolina, from Charlotte. I was gonna say reparations, but it's not really reparations, but close enough.
It would be.
I wish these girls start writing their own music. Cardi B just got accused of stealing her latest single, Outside.
It wasn't Cardi herself. Somebody on that team heard the song, but the coincidence for you to say outside and the beat sound the same, that's too close.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what the hell just happened, but let me try to refresh that again. That was crazy. It was showing me one thing and then showing another over here. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
If she stole, she stole. Then she got to pay up.
Yep,
Unfortunately.
yep. So let's try this again.
Well, it goes.
I wish these girls start writing their own music. Cardi B just got accused of stealing her latest single, Outside.
It wasn't Cardi herself. Somebody on that team heard the song, but the coincidence for you to say outside and the beat sound the same, that's too close.
By a Charlotte, North Carolina rapper by the name of Rissa Rain. Rissa's song has a similar beat to Cardi B's, and she's referring to people being outside as well.
Outside niggas love an outside bitch. But be mad when they
Claimed she had no idea Cardi B was putting out this song. When she heard it, she initially liked it and thought that it sounded quite familiar.
Cardi, I heard the song. I fucked with the song. But as I was listening to it, I was just like, sounded very familiar.
Rissa went on to post a video detailing how she knows the phrase being outside is very common and popularly used today, but she be using that sequence of words paired with a beat that's literally the same beat as her.
we outside this summer, treat them how they treat the getting this. We outside all summer, nigga. Out on the pop outside, cause it's hot out. You was playing games.
Has her convinced that Cardi B or somebody associated with Cardi B heard the song, understood where she was going and what she was trying to do with the song, and then flipped it.
The song that I made this song 3-4 years ago. The idea was there, and I really do feel like you just took it and perfected. It's a common saying. Yes, niggas say niggas been outside. I'm not discounting. That's for you to say outside and the beat sound the same. Just too close.
I'm not gonna lie, when I heard the songs, they definitely sounded extremely similar. I think Rissa Rain is just purely reaching out because she was shocked. I don't think she is any type of Cardi B hater, because when I went on her page back in April, she actually posted a quote and used Cardi B's photo as the background. Rissa went on to claim how she never officially released her song Outside. She just wrote it really quick and threw it up on YouTube for people to hear. That's how she believes somebody associated with Cardi B or Cardi B herself heard the song and decided to flip it.
And if that's what you want to do, cool. But nigga, reach out and be like, hey, listen, do that. You know what I'm saying? But
like I previously stated, the songs definitely sound the same. I'm curious to know what you guys think regarding this. Let me know down in the comments, y'all. Peace.
Well, they sound similar to me. I don't know about y'all. They certainly sound similar. And before I go to Quinn, I just want to play this quick clip before we start talking about it, because this is not the first time that Cardi has been accused of stealing. And I have a tweet from you know her song Up. If it's up, then it's stuck. The producer back then actually spoke out and said Cardi stole from him. So let me just play that one really quick. Hopefully this doesn't give me as much trouble as the TikTok one did. Okay, it should be coming up. You see Mir Pesos, he said he want his money because it was a song by him and Mir Fontaine. And let's let it play. Yeah, I'm starting to think it might be my internet. Okay.
Up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Huh. Up, then it's up. If it's up, then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck. Huh.
If it's up, then it's stuck. Then up, then it's stuck. Yeah. Up, then it's stuck. Up, then it's stuck. Yeah. Up, then it's stuck. Then it's stuck. Hey, then it's stuck. Yeah. Then it's stuck. If it's up, then it's stuck. Then up, then it's stuck. Up, then it's stuck. Up, then it's stuck. Hey, then it's stuck. Then it's. I can't tell if it's up, then it's stuck. Then up, then it's
similar to me.
up, then it's stuck. Then it's stuck. Yeah.
Beating everything.
Mm-mm. Okay. So I'm all right. Yeah, go ahead, favorite Libra.
She be stealing and stuff. But I saw that clip. I didn't see I guess I didn't see the entirety of it because I didn't hear the last part about like how the music got put out. But again, like the great and the fine and the funny, Marshawn Lynch says often protect your chicken. I'm gonna need for homegirl, if you're an artist and you're putting your music out, I understand wanting to get, notoriety or like to get exposure, but at the same time, do good business, protect yourself, make sure that you have copywriting and all that good jazz. Believe in yourself, do it the right way, so you don't have to put yourself in a position where now you have to prove that you put this out first and it was yours first, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Against somebody who has money, who can go and do a legal battle against you all day long and just wait you out. It's unfortunate.
Now, if she didn't copyright the song, would there even be a case? Like, if she could say, yeah, it's the same song, but if she didn't copyright it, would it still count that she put out that version first? I wonder.
No.
So there's, so
No.
there's a, so at one point in time, I looked at like uh the the uh the legal standpoints in regards to like copywriting and like intellectual property and stuff of that nature. Um, that what Happy said commercial use. Um, and I think it just depends on the situation. If she's able to say like this was my intellectual property, it was creative in nature or whatever. It's
Well,
like being a painter, right?
right.
You paint something, you say, hey, this is my thing, even though it's not copyrighted, this was an original to me as my piece or whatever.
I
I
get
think
it.
that would probably be the line that she goes down. But at the same time, like knowing the way that the music business is set up and how people are not, trustworthy, and they, we came across this because they've even said that about our faves too, that are also in their industry. It's just
Yeah.
something that I believe that especially we as Black people should be doing upfront in
And then
current
she's
times.
she's gonna need the lawyers to fight it, definitely. So it's not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just go to court and take Cardi to court. I mean, she's gonna need some money to fight this up, and that's a secondary issue. Depending on what she can do about that.
And hopefully someone with legal standing or with a firm has enough believes in her story, or believes in the strength of her case enough to do it pro bono or contingent.
On winning,
And then
yeah.
Happy also said if you're the first to publish it on YouTube commercial, then you may have a leg to stand on. Yeah.
Well, it definitely was out first. Interesting.
Yep. And based off of what Rissa was saying, I don't think she is gonna like pursue legal because once she was saying like she didn't want to do that song anyway. She was just encouraged by the because usually her style of music is usually like comparable to I hate to say rhapsody, but because there's a two different. But she said like she's more of a lyrical type of. She said that
Right.
song was just done for fun,
Right.
because the producer wanted her to do it. So I don't think she could, but I don't. Based off of what she was saying, it doesn't look like she's because she was like, "Dang, Cardi, you could have just at least called the bitch like, damn, said, hey, da 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 da. This is what it's gonna be." But she said her problem
Let me
was she wasn't told anything.
let me throw you a few bucks. Something, something. Give you credit, something. A line of notes,
Mm-hmm.
something.
You know what? And it's so simple. Like if you would have just reached out and gave her credit, or you could probably give her $10,000 ain't nothing to them
Nothing.
people. Girl, you lost a whole $50,000 bracelet at the club. You couldn't just throw that $10,000 and been like,
Right.
"Thanks, sis. I'm gonna put
Mhm.
this out."
Right.
It's not that hard. And then can't nobody muddy your name. But nobody gets ahead of stuff like that, which don't make no sense. You don't think the social media people come out and tell it? Oh, they stole this from me. Now you up here looking crazy for the second time.
I
Ugh.
think some people get it because it's happened, before. Maybe some people know better now, but apparently, like she said, she was just throwing it up there for clicks and grins and trying to get out, her name known and so forth. So yeah, she dropped the ball on that, but she still may have a case according to what we've heard here today. But she's just gonna need somebody to take it up for her, and she needs a good lawyer, not a court-appointed type situation. So it's gonna cost. Come on, Quinn.
So my two things I want to say is one, even if it was a little throwaway for her, she still should want she still should want just due to herself, right? Just off of the principle of the situation. One, because studio time is not fucking cheap and it's not fucking free. Creative, integrity. And being able to put things together and create spaces for herself is not, it's not cheap, and it's not fucking free. So I do hope that she's able to get someone to represent her and take that on. Also, two, I want to. I do not want to give an avenue to say that Cardi should have known better, or like to get around the fact that Cardi should have known better. But I also want to recognize the fact that um Cardi hasn't put out music in 7 years. So there's that. Also too, I think she absolutely needs to check her team like that in her position, because she may not have known, she may not have been aware, especially if it's on fucking YouTube and she doesn't know this person. She may not have been aware, but now that she is aware, one, she should do the right thing, but also two, she should be checking the people who are in her circle, who are bringing her music, and vetting the situation of like, how's it, this is the second time that this is happening, that someone is coming to me, if she's sincere and she has integrity. This is the second time that someone is like coming out and speaking against me, saying that I stole her music. And I rely on XYZ person, to bring me music, bring me beats, all these things. So I think that's something that if she is a woman of integrity, which I hope she is, that be the case and she does the right thing. And that doesn't need to be a big, long, drawn out legal battle or of anything of that nature.
Right. Go ahead,
Plot
Will.
twist: she is not a woman of integrity. Allegedly, allegedly.
Go ahead, Will.
I was just gonna say, like, as the story goes on, I wonder if Tony Busby's right hand's itching right now.
Because he's gonna get paid from that John Doe legal fees. Yeah.
This would be a legitimate case for him, though. He might want to give her a call.
Hmm.
Maybe.
Legitimate isn't in his lane.
Oh.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Well, I got three more stories left. Did anybody want to add anything before we go to the next one? All right. Well, this next one, y'all know how we did. We did quite a few stories about Whack 100. He always seems to either do or say something that keeps himself in the news.
Mm.
Well, now, honey, it's been alleged that he acts because there have been rumors that he's a undercover cop. So now they saw him on a live, and somebody he was taking something out of his wallet, and somebody was like, "Well, wait a minute, bitch, is that a badge?" So we gonna look at this video together. Y'all tell me what y'all think. It looks like a badge to me, honey. But we all have different eyes, so let's just see. Let me find that video. Should be coming up shortly.
Whack 100 police.
Okay, so here go. This is Whack on the right, so make sure you pay attention to him.
Okay.
Because nigga, his statement in the motherfucking his statement there, nigga. Walk.
Badge.
Y'all saw that right?
Badge.
That was a badge.
Wait, spin it back.
Wait, what did I miss? Wait.
Rewind.
Let me replay it.
What are we looking at?
Look at his wallet.
Look over here to the right, bottom right hand side.
When he opens his wallet.
Because nigga, his statement in the motherfucking his
Damn,
statement there,
he got caught slipping. Oh Jesus!
Now somebody actually tried to say that they tried to say that was like a PBA situation or something like that. Like they tried to say, oh, you get that type of thing when your family is in law enforcement. And I'm here to confirm that maybe it's different in certain parts. But as somebody who has had a DEA card in the state of New York, you get a card. You don't get nothing that looks like a badge. So and y'all, if anybody in here has family that's law enforcement, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's usually not how that works. Only the law enforcement get those badges.
Yeah, that's the first I've ever heard of that. Who he the popo?
You said DEA doesn't get badges?
No, family members.
Family members, DEA.
Okay. I was like,
I have, because I'm not going to say who it was, but somebody, in my family is a retired detective. And because of them, I was able to get the DEA cards while living in New York. So, and trust me when I tell you, them they are a big help. Woo.
You can buy a badge, but who would want to do that? If someone in his profession would go around with a fake badge. I mean, you can get one, but why would you?
Keeps you out of the parking tickets.
Hello, parking and speeding tickets, honey. Keeps you out.
They know the fake badges. I wouldn't try it.
Professional headassery.
Family card.
That'd be a
yeah, we were talking about the card, the PBA and the DEA cards, honey. Those are what keeps you out of. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, we saw a badge. Now what?
Exactly. And Big U, remember how we talked about him? Big U was one of the main people saying, "Oh, this nigga done snitched on me. That's why I'm in this situation." It's like, I mean, we all have eyes, and we all just saw it. So.
Is it snitching if he's the police? But
ooh, touche. Go ahead, favorite Taurus.
DJ Vlad better be taking some notes.
He does. Well, DJ Vlad is smart enough to not show his badge on camera. Allegedly.
And they just had a little video come on the timeline, basically saying that the CIA got the big funds all of the rap industry shit all across the world. So it's not too far of a stretch. I'm just saying.
If I had $1 for everything the CIA funds, man, I'd be a rich person.
Hello, but low key, I know they listening, but what's up? What's good? I'm just saying.
I'm talking about the allegations. They do be into mess for sure, but the allegations.
Come on now, Cub.
We all know about Contra. There you go.
A mess. Well, after all the heavy stories that we talked about today, this next one is a little bit it's a little bit lighter. It's kind of disgusting, so I apologize in advance. But y'all know, or are you familiar with the rapper Finesse 2 Times? Mm-hmm. Probably not.
Who is that?
I feel like I've heard the name before.
We talked about him in the show before because he was the one that was like in trouble for trying to be a quote unquote mentor to that little boy and had we have a question, ain't he ugly? Well, yes, and we're going to talk about just how ugly his ass was because he actually confirmed that before he got his veneers, he didn't brush his teeth. So we about to watch him talk about it on this Instagram clip.
Auntie.
Correct,
That's what I
cuz.
said. Well, all these heavy stories that we talked about today, we had to do something. Jump scare, y'all. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, cause I ain't know no.
But
Oh,
why
let me
would y'all do
refresh.
I
this?
ain't know no.
Through my eyes.
Damn, his teeth were fucked.
I ain't brush my teeth before I got them. Yeah, cause I ain't know no better.
How the hell you
I
don't
ain't know
know?
no better before I got my teeth fixed, nigga.
Brush your-
Fuck brushing my teeth. I wanted some money, nigga. Fuck you talking about.
wow.
When I did better, hey man, quit playing with me. You know better, you do better, man. You know, you gotta learn. Yeah, I ain't used to brush my teeth. Fucked up teeth run in my family. So it is what it is. But get what now though? 250. 250. Yeah.
250. He ain't brushing them either.
I
I just wish some people wouldn't talk.
when you think you
And
have
there's
seen
a
it
woman out
all.
there that's sucking on him. Ew.
Yep. Funky teeth and all. Come say he wish some
There was
people
actually a
wouldn't
sex tape
talk.
of him leaked.
I don't want to say it.
Ew.
I don't want to say
Yes,
it.
it was a girl willingly having sex with him. And unfortunately, y'all, I hate to say it, but he was tearing that thing up. I was looking like, oh, wow.
Not
So,
Auntie.
Yo, that's
You have already traumatized me, my eyes. I feel like we
tearing
should have
that
been able to
thing up.
watch that like with just the audio. I mean, listen to the audio. I didn't need to. My eyes. My
He's
eyes.
putting in
I
work,
won't go be
Auntie.
the only one traumatized. He was putting in work, girl. I was actually very surprised.
I hate you.
my lord.
Oh my God. I know his breasts think like, oh, I can't even imagine what it must have smelled like.
What the old folks used to say, yuck mouth. He
Yuck
got
mouth,
yuck mouth.
exactly. And unfortunately, like this is not unusual among, like he said, he a street nigga. It's a lot of, if you grew up in the streets, honey, if you know street niggas, then you know like a lot of them don't brush their teeth, unfortunately. And I personally don't see how they do it. Because I'm like, you taste it as soon as you wake up. Like as soon as I wake up, I know the first thing I want to do is brush my teeth. So I don't get it. But hey,
All of those niggas I know down in the South got a mouthful of gold though, so that's a whole other.
And that makes it worse. The food
That's a whole
particles
other.
get trapped behind that, and even if you do brush your teeth, you can't get to that, and it's still, yeah, that made a lot of people's mouths stink.
Oh, this ain't false. These are caps.
Pull outs.
Same thing
before
happens
after
with
you collect the
veneers.
15 off your nightstand.
Food gets trapped behind those things, and you can't get that out. Yeah, it's not good. Not good. Back when the people were getting goals that actually applied to their teeth instead of, removable. Oh my God.
Shout out to Florida with they slugs.
Yeah, I was about to
You
say
know?
Miami, Duval.
Hey, listen, all over Tampa. Shout out to Hillsborough County.
Mm. Mm-mm.
Be quick to say 10 to the top, 10 to the bottom. Head assery. Oh Lord. Is that it, Auntie? Are we done with the trauma?
We done with the trial, but
Okay.
we can go to our last story now.
Amen, my eyes.
Well, speaking of people who just finally learned how to talk with their new teeth, Master P. So his ass has been in the news, and it's not for a good reason, honey. So, I'm sharing this link from Vibe. Master P responds to Mia X's refusal to perform with him at Essence Fest. Now, y'all know if anybody, especially of millennial or Gen X age, y'all know this relationship. This is like a surprise to a lot. With, especially when it comes to Master P and Mia X.
Mr.
So,
Ice Cream Man.
okay. With Essence Fest right around the corner, Mia X is refusing to hit the stage for No Limit Records founder Master P's highly anticipated set, claiming disrespect and janky business is to blame. Taken to her Instagram account on Sunday, June 29th, the New Orleans artist let followers know that despite being featured on advertising materials, she will not be hitting the stage with her former label head due to being contacted on short notice and dismissed when she mentions her performance fee to the Bout About Rappers team. It's still unbelievable that I'm actually saying this. I will not be performing at Essence Fest as a featured artist in Master P's set, Mia X born Mia Young wrote. We started talking about my involvement last week. At first, his manager didn't want to entertain my performance fee. That's the Mia right there. Silk the Shocker. So she went on to say she spoke with P, born Percy Miller, on June 26th, and that he said their lack of communication was due to his busy schedule. She was then sent a contract on June 27th, but with the festival beginning July 4th, feels it is too late to produce a quality set worthy of a large platform. I felt disrespected because the show had been booked for many months and I had been advertised as a featured artist, she wrote. No schedule in place for rehearsals, no contract, no deposit, and the fear of a repeat 2018. The MC then added that she was also upset with Essence for using her within marketing materials without confirmation of her participation. I felt like once again, no matter who's saying protect and respect black women, they always sell us out to the boys club, she wrote. And then you can see her full post right here that she put on her Instagram. Master P has since responded to Mia's complaint, essentially chalking it all up to a misunderstanding. I don't know where. Matter of fact, we can even watch him say because it's a short video. We can watch what he has to say.
What's up, y'all? I've been coaching, but wherever the miscommunication went at, y'all know that I give Mia X whatever she wants. So just cut that out. I talked to Mia X. I told her to give me a number, whatever the management was talking about. Y'all know how I cut for Mia X. She gonna get whatever she wants. She can perform if she want to. She don't have to. It's a masterpiece farewell show at Essence, and it's not a No Limit reunion tour because we did that already.
Hmm. Then it just talks about like who is going to be in the Essence Festival with this last thing. So I'm just going to say that I believe every word that Mia X is saying. Oh, and the reason that I believe why Mia X is saying is because this is not the first time Master P has been accused of not paying a woman her money. Now, as much as I don't like that girl, just unhilarious. She actually was in the movie I Got a Hookup too. And after she did the movie, she did her part and everything. She was saying that she was owed $10,000. Master P, that matter of fact, I can even pull up the tweet because I tweeted about it personally. I got my tweet here that I even because Master P talked about it to the Breakfast Club was saying, oh, well, that was just a quote unquote misunderstanding or miscommunication, like he likes to say. And the production company is the one who owes her the money, not me. So I'm like, you know me, I'm a bitch who likes to do a little digging to do my research. So the production company that he's referring to was Genius Minds Pictures, which is Master P's production company. So I tweeted, I said, Master P is playing in that girl's face. I Got the Hookup 2 was produced by Genius Mind Pictures, which is Master P's production company. And this was back in February of 2023. So he has a history of not paying these girls their money, or especially when Mia said he didn't even want to entertain my performance fee. He thought that that girl was gonna come up there and perform for him for free. I believe it. So that's that. Master P, get it together. You know better. So that's that. Go ahead, my favorite Libra queen. Libra queen.
Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. Don't beat me up. I really don't know who Mia X is, to be honest. I do not know who she is. I promise you. I had to Google to try to see if I know any of her songs. I don't know. I know No Limit Soldier. I thought I told you. Nah, 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 nah. Clearly I'm a baby millennial somewhere because that never got to me. I don't know. And when I say No Limit Down, we could at a young age I was, all the lyrics knew it. I don't know who she is. I've never come across her. I wouldn't recognize her.
I'm sad. Stop.
I'm so sad. But also too, Master P, Mr. I'm doing it for the hood, Mr. We doing it the right way, the business way, the whatever way. Again, check your motherfucking house. You shouldn't have had it happen the first time, much less a second time. If that's the case, it was an understyle, it was an accident. Yeah, you shouldn't even have to come to social media to say that. You should have done right by her, and she could have spoken on it as she wanted to, since she can come or not come, but she gonna get whatever she wants. She shouldn't have to speak up to say that in the first place.
You called that right. Talking about, oh, Mia, she cutthroat. If she really want to do what she'll do it. I'm like, dude, are you for real?
But it's the farewell to our headlong. Run me some money and I'm still not coming. Thanks. Farewell.
But Quinn, I have to say, and it's really not your. I mean, I would say I don't. Mia is kind of regional because not to me. I know a lot of New Yorkers weren't familiar. They knew who Master P was and a lot of the No Limit soldiers, but they weren't really familiar with Mia X and her music until I put them on. And they pretty much all had the same sentiment after they heard the song. Oh, she's good. She's damn good at what she. Mia X is that girl is damn good at what she does, honey. So go ahead, favorite Taurus.
I feel vindicated because I feel yes. Thank you, Auntie.
No, there's something to use. There's something to that, Auntie, because I've always compared Mia X to like Mia X is like the yo-yo of the South. That's how I consider her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I can
That's
agree
a
with
really
that.
good comparison.
Well, I don't know her, but I think that doesn't matter in what's going on here. The fact that what she's saying is valid. So even though I don't know her, apparently she was supposed to be a featured artist. So hey, it didn't go down right.
Yep. And when I tell you I'm sure the New Orleans fans are extremely disappointed because like she has a really really big following, especially like from her hometown. So I know they
And she
disappointed
just
about
beat
her not.
cancer, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Look, she was the the female rapper of No Limit. She was like all the other chicks that they had a chick that was like the lady of the crew. She was it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Libra Queen.
I also want to wake it up just a little bit. I know we whacking Master P right now, but I also want to wake it up just a little bit on Essence because how in the flying fuck are you marketing a show and y'all the bigger name, y'all the ones who putting on this shit and not making sure that hey, these are all confirmed people that are supposed to be performing at this place and time, and making sure that the materials that you're using to advertise are okay with the teams and the individuals that you're working with. That's how I know y'all are really not about your business. Ain't nobody got time for that. And quiet as it's kept on the low. Apparently, they got that red company, the one with the circle and the T Tarjay people apparently is
Mm-hmm.
a sponsor this year. On the cool. So just FYI if y'all going.
What?
What?
Mm-mm.
Girl or Earl. Well, y'all, that was all the tea that I had for us today. So I just want to thank y'all one for that. Really, really, it was heavy, but it was a nice conversation that we were having earlier. Before we head out, did any of you have any tea that you want to share? Anything I might have missed? Okay, y'all. Well, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and sit.
Thanks, Auntie.
Bye.